So when it comes to being heart healthy, salmon is high on the list and low in fat and high in protein and flavor. So today Heide Lang is going to share a recipe that's easy and slightly unusual.
Indeed,
Why
yes,
is it unusual, Heidi?
Well, how often do you think of figs and walnuts with salmon?
Never, actually.
And think that that could possibly be something you could do in 10 minutes?
Almost
never.
Surprise me, huh? You're going to amaze us here?
Indeed, I am. I hope to, at least. So we have a nice piece of salmon, about 2.5 pounds.
It's a big piece, right?
How
much is that going to serve?
It's going to serve, depending on whether this is more than one course, I would say 6 to 8 people.
Okay.
But again, it depends on also what you're serving, if it's a very starchy vegetable and so on. So we have this lovely salmon. The first thing you always want to do when you are roasting a salmon is to score it a bit. And the reason we're doing that is so that the other ingredients, the cream and the spices and things, have a chance to actually be absorbed in the salmon, okay?
Got it.
And the other ingredient that's kind of unusual is that we're using creme fraiche. Teresa, let's bring over the creme fraiche here. Okay, creme fraiche, for those of you who have never used it before, is sort of a richer, has slightly more fat content than sour cream.
Okay.
And that makes it much more stable when you're cooking. You really don't want to use sour cream unless you have to. Mascarpone, for example, is even more rich, has even higher fat content. But this is a really good balance.
Got it.
Okay, and to this we're going to be adding some lemon zest. We're going to add 2 teaspoons of lemon zest. And if we have time, I'm going to show you guys how to zest, okay?
Ooh.
And a teaspoon of whole grain butter. Butter.
Mustard, right?
Mustard, yeah. If you don't have whole grain and you don't want to go out and get some, you certainly can put in some Dijon mustard as well.
Okay.
And then we're going to put in some salt. And we're just going to take this little bit of mustard out.
Got it.
And so basically we're almost done with what we're going to be spreading onto the salmon. There we go, okay? So if you'd like to just stir this up a bit.
I could do that.
Yeah, there we go. We'll stir this up a bit.
Sure.
And then we always use, when in the kitchen, instead of using those brushes, the ones that have the really fine hairs.
Yes.
It's really good to use silicone because all that yucky stuff doesn't get caught in it, and it, wash it. It's much easier to wash. Perfect.
Okay.
Okay, so we have this, and all we're going to do, Teresa, is brush this on. We're going to paint, exactly. So if you have kids, this is a great time for them to help you out. So we're going to put this on, and then while this sits for a bit, we put this in the oven for about 10 minutes until it starts to brown, and then we're going to show you the rest of what we're going to do. We're going to be taking figs, dry figs. Now, if you're making this in September or late August, you'll want to use fresh figs. But this time of year, unless you live in California or Italy, you'll be hard-pressed to find some figs. So also, this is fun, this is one of my new little toys. You can also put some fresh pepper.
Oh wow, there's no grinding there, Heidi.
No grinding.
How fancy.
And it has a light. Now you may ask yourself, why would you need a light? You really don't, but it's a lot of fun. So Mother's Day's passed, but Father's Day is still coming up. This is a great gift. People take my classes, just love that.
How are your classes going?
Great, absolutely great. So we have a lot of really, really fresh, vibrant things coming up for the summer, and some ethnic classes we call spice market classes as well. Okay. But everybody loves that pepper grinder, and I probably am responsible for having 200 people buy that pepper grinder. Okay, so this is a dried fig.
Got it.
And what we've done is we've already cut these up, and we've soaked these in hot water.
Why?
Because they really are dry, and then the honey, we're going to be adding some honey to this, won't really be absorbed. Okay. Okay. So we're just going, if you do this at home, you're just going to cut them in about 3 or 4 pieces. Okay. And then you're going to take some honey.
So there's about 1.5 minutes left.
And we're just going to add this honey, and we're going to mix it together. Okay.
So this is going to be a sweet.
It is. It's sweet and savory. Right? Exactly. Okay. So we would mix this together. Now we're not going to put this on yet, but you can see this would go in for 10 minutes, and when it comes out in 10 minutes, then we're going to add the figs, and we're going to add half a cup of dried walnuts that we just crush with our hands like this.
Okay.
Okay. And when this comes out in 10 minutes, we don't want to put on the figs and the walnuts in the beginning of the roasting process because they'll burn.
Oh, got it.
And that's just really for the last 3 to 5 minutes.
What do we have here? Is that parsley?
And then at the end, you can see that we've also put a little bit of parsley.
It's so pretty.
It's so pretty. And again, your guests or even your kids, on a weeknight will say, wow, this is so tasty.
You slaved, Mom.
Yeah, I know, you can lie and you can tell your friends and your family that you worked really hard.
Got it.
But
it looks fantastic.
and it looks beautiful all the time.
All right. Well, we're going to try this at the end of the show.
Oh.
Heidi, thank you so much for being here.
It's my pleasure.